O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a 2024 Corolla LE, $19,975. Need credit? If you earn at least $500 a week, we want to say you're approved at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our biggest discount on a 2024 Acura. Take up to $10,000 off. $10,000 off at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 Acura dealer in the USA.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Time to rock and roll, baby. Yes, sir. We are here at Hialeah Park. We normally are here on Thursdays, but Thursdays you'll be here because they'll have a watch party. So you can watch the Dolphins and the Bills. It's a beautiful thing. So instead of Thursday, we'll be doing our own pre- and post-game show, and we'll be in studio. We will do a Thursday. I will do a really short show at 10 a.m. on Thursday within an hour. Sean does not believe it. He tells me I'm a liar, and he's probably true. I don't stop talking, so I'm going to try to keep it an hour, okay? Anyway, so yeah. No, I get it. I deserve that. I deserve that. When you're right, bro. You know, you can't argue when someone's right. Anyway, so we've got that going on. And, of course, we got the $100 no-regret first bet. So take advantage. Use that QR code. Go into the Hialeah Park website. If you already have a Hard Rock account, don't use the same phone number or email. That way you can make your bet, get your $100 no-regret first bet. And if you open it up here and you show them here, they'll give you an extra $50 to gamble here in Hialeah Park. And we are in the second floor poker room. So everybody is enjoying themselves. We got the loose slots downstairs, hundreds and hundreds of amazing machines, no smoking facility. They do have the smoking hot slots outside, by the way. Okay. So we've got that going on. We've got David Furones will join us in this hour. Manny Navarro will join us in hour numero dos. Obviously, we got some stuff to talk about. Front and center is going to be the Tyreek Hill and police situation, which we've talked about now for 2 days. This will be the third because we talked about it on game day when it happened. And then we talked about it yesterday. And now we got to see the video and everything else that's involved. Context is very important here. And the easiest part is to blame the police, which, of course, they deserve the blame. You know, you saw how aggressive they were. For me, I still also blame Tyreek. I have to blame Tyreek. And that is obviously going to be one of my sticking points today because it's really lazy to point at the cops because that's the obvious. You think they're going to fire that guy? No. You think anything's going to change? You know, I saw Tua talking about it in the press conference. Oh, the guys got together to talk about trying to make – you ain't changing shit, dude. See, the problem that's going on here is that too many of you like to play both sides. And you live in fantasy land. And you don't live in reality. Okay? And like I said many, many times over, like some guy goes to me, well, what if your daughter or your wife was being held by the cops there? I go, well, my daughter and my wife aren't going to drive 60 miles an hour at a sporting event or concert. Nobody drives 60 miles an hour in a concert or a sporting event, but Tyreek did. And you see the video. The cop has to blaze to catch up to the guy. He has to do 80 miles an hour to catch up to the guy doing 60. And it's all context. You already pissed off the officer. By the way, I have worked in that neighborhood for over 20 years. Actually closer to 30 years, but it's around 25. I'm going to say about 25 because I worked at 940 Winds right off of 441. I worked at QAM right on 441. And then QAM bought the old Winds building, and I went back to the old Winds building for a few more years. So I spent a lot of time going down Ives Dairy Road. By the way, don't do 45 in Ives Dairy ever. Between 27th Avenue and 441 on Ives Dairy, do not do 45 miles an hour any day of the week. They will bust you. It's like a 35 or 40 mile an hour zone. They have a police trap under the bypass all the time. Just so you'll know. I know these things because I've been going through that neighborhood for almost a quarter century now. It's kind of crazy. But I've watched the cops there all the time. See, here's the thing, man. I live in a different world than Tyreek Hill does. And some of you apparently. I assume And I'm sorry for police officers out there because I know we have a lot of really good police officers. But I assume every police officer is like that crazy Cuban. I don't even know if he's Cuban. Is he Cuban? Anyway, I'm going to go. He gives me a Cuban kind of vibe. But anyway, so I kind of assume any cop that pulls me over, that's the guy. You know what I love about you people out there that live in fantasy land? Well, the cop is supposed to diffuse. Yeah. Is that your experience? I'm sorry. Is that your experience? Cops diffusing? No, of course not. But you go ahead and live in fantasy land. You go ahead and live in fantasy land that they're going to diffuse. I told somebody yesterday on Twitter, do you know what I do when they pull me over? I am the man that diffuses it. How you doing, officer? I'm sorry. I got pulled over once for doing 88 miles an hour. I was close to Jacksonville. Bill Preston, rest in peace, was next to me in the car. I had my cruise control on at 74. Now, the cop was coming this way. I was going that way. And there was another car that sped past me. I think he gunned him but nailed me. Now, the speed limit was 70, so I was going 4 miles over the speed limit. And I did that on purpose because I go, they don't really pull you over for 4 miles over the speed limit. So the guy walks up to my window. Hey, you see what you were doing? I said, no, sir. What happened? He goes, you were doing 88 in a 70. And I go, well, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing 74. My apologies. I apologize. I am sorry, sir. Here's my license, registration, and insurance card. He went back to the car and gave me the ticket. Expensive ass ticket, $200 and some dollars. It was up close before you turn to the Panhandle, like Jacksonville or whatever. It was a couple miles before Jacksonville or something. And it's a big ass redneck that's pulling me over. I'm a Cuban kid. You think I'm going to start arguing with the guy? No, dude, I don't want to go to no rinky-dink jail up in Florida. I'm not going to be a smart ass. I'm going to take the ticket, I'm going to pay, and then I'm going to go to the school. And I'm going to do my stupid hours to try to take the points off. By the way, to this day, I still bother my wife about that ticket. I can't believe I got that ticket. And I didn't deserve it. I was doing 74. If you wanted to give me the ticket for 74, then I'll take it, but not 88, bro. I wasn't doing 88. I did that on purpose. I said 74 is good. I'll lock it in. I'm fine. And I got nailed for 88. Another time, I've told this story several times on the show. I'm going to Mobile. So I'm in Alabama. Again, Cuban. This is 18 years ago, a long time ago. So I get pulled over by a redneck trooper. Asked me for my license. I give him my license. And he looks at it and goes, Alzu, what's this? And I said, it's Cuban. And he goes, didn't know the rash floated that far. You know what I did? Didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. By the way, to this day, I still remember it. It's a funny-ass joke, by the way. It's funny. It's hilarious. Some guy on Twitter was, that's not funny, oh. Like I just told Sean, I'm from Red Fox. I'm from the Neil Rogers era. I'm from Don Rickles. Words don't do anything to me, bro. Whatever. Yeah, I floated here, which I didn't. I was born in Belgrade, Florida, but whatever. I didn't get the ticket, by the way. He didn't give me a ticket. He went back, but maybe he was just poking the bear to see if I said something smart. And so this is our reality that we live in this world. Okay? I'm going to be 58 in a couple of weeks. In 1979, I remember Arthur McDuffie getting beaten to death. Well, beaten into a coma, then he died. Former insurance agent, Marine, all that kind of stuff, 33 years old. We had riots in the early 1980s because of it for several days. And Just why don't you watch the news? Since Tyreek Hill has been pulled out of that car aggressively, way too aggressive, I bet you 10 other people have been mistreated by cops. If you think we're going to fix cops all of a sudden and they're all going to be nice and they're all going to figure everything out and they're all going to diffuse situations, man, you live in fantasy land. This guy, Kip Johnson on Twitter, saying, well, that's like you're like living in Cuba. And I go, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to fight the cops? I'm not going to win, dude. I see it on TV all the time. I don't win that fight. I don't need to get my ass kicked. I don't need to go to jail. That's going to cost me a lot more money. So if you're a cop, context is important, okay? No excuses, but important. So you're a cop, you're on the motorcycle. Some guy speeds by in the middle of a sporting event or concert at 60 miles an hour in a zone that you can only do 35 and 40 on a normal day. When there's cones out there, we all know you got to go 5, 10, 15 miles an hour, dude. There are people walking all over. You're speeding by at 60. What, at that moment, you lit that cop up. You lit his fire right there. He's like, whoa, this son of a bitch is doing 60 in the middle of a game. It's not cool, dude. So, and then you get the guy become an asshole. So, and then you don't even, and let me tell you proper etiquette. It's not a law because you idiots out there. Well, is that a law? To keep your window down? Bro, if there's a cop right in front of you, you always keep your window down. Always keep your window down and communicate. Be cordial. Diffuse. If you expect them to diffuse, you're dead. You're done. It's over. They're not going to diffuse. They're not going to be the better people in the whole situation sometimes. This is the reality that we live in. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality we live in. I told you I got pulled over by Miccosukee cops last week for a plastic on my tag that is the sun. I guess over this is the 5th year of my Camry, and it's kind of like yellow a little bit. So it's kind of harder to read the tag, apparently, according to the Miccosukee cop. So when he pulls me over, I told you this story yesterday. By the time he got to my window, I had my license, registration, and insurance. And here you go, sir. And do you know why I'm pulling you over? I said no, and then he explained it. Okay. That's it. No fighting. Why should I get a ticket? No nothing, whatever. He went back, ran my license, didn't give me a ticket. So if you're Tyreek, you don't deserve to be pulled out of the car. We all know that. We all know that. But if you're Tyreek, why are you driving 60? If you're Tyreek, why don't you just keep your window down? And if you're Tyreek, use that electric personality of yours to diffuse the situation. The second he pulls you over, you pull the window down. Hey, officer, I am so sorry. I am so pumped about today. I want to win the game for the Dolphin fans today. And then at that moment, he might pick up on something because one of the officers is caught on video saying, oh, that's a Dolphin star? I had no idea. Somebody was, hey, that's a Dolphin star. Really? I had no idea. And then he threw an F-bomb. Like, oh, damn it. Everybody's not a sports fan. But if Tyreek handles it differently, he can diffuse the situation himself. But he also lit up the situation himself. And then you get a bad cop, te jodiste, as we say in Spanish. You're screwed. But you have to assume that every cop that pulls you over is that guy. It may not be. There's a good chance it won't be. But you have to assume, whether you like this or not, dude. This has been going on for decades. And if you think cops are going to change, they don't even have enough cops in most towns now. They don't have enough people to hire. Most people won't take this job. Most people won't do the job. And they're certainly not going to do it the way you want it in fantasy land. Because utopia does not exist. We have Supreme Court judges who are racist and biased. Supreme Court judges. And you want to fix cops? You're not fixing cops. But you got to adjust yourself. That's what you got to do, bro. You got to do things that won't set them off because you just don't know who you're going to end up with. And there's tons of bad cops. And guess what? Blue won't act on blue. It's been proven over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I apologize for my pessimistic outlook on the police, but it's the realistic outlook on the police. So when they pull you over, drop the attitude, bro. It ain't going to get you anywhere. Don't do stupid things like light them up by going 60 miles an hour in a sporting event. What if he hits somebody, dude? Then it changes the entire complexion of this discussion. Nobody talks that he put people at risk by driving at 60 miles an hour. And you were dismissive of the police. You just raised your window. That's not proper ethics. That doesn't help you. Being nice, you fucked up. They're pulling you over because you screwed up. That's your moment to show contrition. Was there any contrition at that moment? You did 60 miles an hour. They stop you. Any contrition there? None. Now, here's my license. Just write the ticket. You're going to piss him off even more. And then you ended up with a bad lottery. You ended up with a bad cop. So you act like a dick. You break the law, ugly, and you end up with a bad cop. That's what happened, dude. See, the problem with you sports holes out there is that you love your team so much, you can't even point the finger at your own player for being stupid. And by the way, is this the first time that Tyreek Hill is stupid? No, I don't think so. So this is just a track record of him being stupid. And now stupid led to an ugly situation by the police. But make no mistake, it only happened because he was stupid. Did he deserve what he got? No, of course not. But he didn't help it. He contributed to the situation. The second you get busted for 60 miles an hour in a concert, in a sporting event, in a school zone or whatever, bro, you need to be on your knees when you get out of the car and tell hey, I am really sorry. I did not realize what I was doing. I apologize. I deserve this ticket. Here's my license. That's what you should be doing, bro. The obvious, of course the guy was aggressive. Of course it was police brutality. There's no doubt about that. Any idiot can see that. But the fact that most of you have no guts, no balls whatsoever to actually point at what he also did wrong in the situation where he did not help at all, it's gutless on so many of you. And that's why I do this show that no one else does, because I'm willing to say the things that people aren't willing to say. So if you want to keep waiting for cops to become perfect, brother, that's never going to happen in any of your lifetimes and definitely not mine. I don't have much time left. But some of you that might be a little younger, guess what? This ain't going to change. None of this is going to change. Do you follow it? Most of you don't even follow it. Go check out in Oakland. They're dying to hire people. They don't have enough. They don't have enough in New York. In New York, you can spit and throw crap at officers. Who wants that job? In New York, they can do all kinds of things to you, and you can't do nothing. This is a thankless job, being a police officer. And all you do is deal with garbage all day long. And these people are wound tight, under pressure. And you think that they're all of a sudden going to do this job the right way? Hell no, dude. They're all wound tight and stressed out to hell. And it doesn't help that we do stupid things. It just is not going to help. So don't speed through a school zone. Don't speed at a concert. Don't speed at a sporting event. And don't be dismissive of cops, because if you end up with the wrong one, like Tyreek did, then you end up with that situation. I can guarantee you, I'm not a cop, never been, but the cop that was in that bike, the second he saw that guy let's just dart by, he lost it right there, like any cop would. Like, holy shit, did this guy just speed by in the middle of with all these cones and knowing that there's pedestrians all over the place? You got to use better judgment. Again, did he deserve this? No. But did he contribute? Hell yeah. And if any of you want to follow his example, you're an idiot. Anytime you get pulled over, expect that cop to be like the guy that Tyreek got. You have to diffuse the situation. You have to find a way to be as cooperative as possible. Is it going to work out for you every time? No. No, it's not. But will it work out for you most of the time? Yeah, it will, actually, because you don't end up with that asshole every time. But if you act like an asshole, you might end up with an asshole. And then that's it. It's over. And we have the situation that we have. So, yes, of course the cop is at fault. We all know that. Are they going to fire him? Please, dude. They just cleared the guys that killed the woman in her house. They killed the woman in her house. What's her name? That poor lady. You know who it was? You know who I'm talking about? The lady that was in her house, that her boyfriend had the gun, but they killed the woman, and they cleared the two cops, bro. Anyway, so, you know, this happens all the time. And if you think cops are going to get fixed and they're going to go do the job perfectly and diffuse every situation and respect everybody that they stop and all, oh, please, dude, that is never going to happen. Huh? Breonna Taylor. Poor girl. Cute girl, man, too. And young as hell. I think she was a nurse, I believe. What? Oh, she was in law enforcement? Jesus. Wow. Yeah, it's not ever going to get any better. Sorry to disappoint you. Sorry to depress you. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to do your best to diffuse any of these situations, because there's a chance that the guy you get or woman on the other side is not going to have the decency, is not going to have the skill set, and is not going to look for any sympathy from you. So do your best, because if not, it's not going to work out well for you. Yes, sir.
Tom Pelissero just sent out the citations are out on X. They got so many marked out areas. I'm not going to bring them up, but he said via the Miami-Dade Police Department, here are the citations received by Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. They did total about.
By the way, all of us end up arrested, not released. Just so you'll know. Oh, one more thing, Jonnu Smith, my brother. Let me give you a tip, because maybe you don't think quickly. Okay, were there not two people in the truck? Were there not two people in that truck?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to help your friend? Get off. Have the other guy drive the truck. Go back around. Go to the parking lot. I'll meet you after. Use your head. They're telling you to move. You don't pay attention. You don't listen. And you almost got arrested. Why? Because you ended up with that cop and you didn't diffuse the situation. Jonnu Smith could use his intelligence. There's two people in the truck. Cops need me to move. Yo, take my keys. Move the car. I'm going to stay here with Tyreek. Usa la cabeza, papa. Use the head. Use the intelligence. Circumvent the situation. Be the person that rises above it. You see you got an out-of-control cop. Do something, dude. You're not going to win that fight. You must learn to diffuse. You must learn to use intelligence. This is the world we live in. So when you're in front of a judge, respect. When you're in front of a cop, respect. I'm just telling you, that's how it works. That's the best way it's going to work. If you try to fight those people, you will not win, ever. And if you think you're smarter and you can be dismissive and disrespectful and break the law and laugh at them, then all you're going to do is piss them off. I'm going to speed through at 60. Here's my license. I'm closing the window. And by the way, let me tell you something also. Let me tell you something also about this. Two bullshit things that Tyreek said. Two bullshit things. Okay? First of all, he says, I can't sit on the curve my knee. I just had an operation. Dude, you just ran for 100 yards and an 80-yard touchdown. Please, let's go. Deja el alade for somebody else. Let the, what's that word in English? Alade in English. Come on, you're a teacher, damn it. I don't expect a gringo to tell me this. Alade. Well, just exaggeration. Exaggeration. Come on, dude. Don't lie about your knee. Oh, I got to put the window up because people will take pictures. Oh, you're talking about the guy that goes to malls and stands and starts to fool with people? Oh, come on, dude. You're afraid of people. Oh, by the way, you won't have to worry about the people, Tyreek. They're not going to get close to you. Did you see those cops? You think I was born yesterday, bro? Come on, man. Enough already. Let's step into reality. What we live in. Who are the people we're really dealing with? And then that's the context you need. And that's how this situation has to be viewed. Obviously, the cop is at fault. Obviously, he should get fired. Will he get fired? No. But Tyreek Hill didn't do anything at all to help that situation and diffuse it. He lit it up like TNT, and it all starts with a 60-yard drive right down the middle of 199. So, there you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he went on to say, Officer Danny Torres, 27-year tenure, remains in administrative duties as the internal affairs investigation is still ongoing.
There you go. Hector says, you're a Cuban white guy. So? Again, bro, words. They do nothing. Like I say, you could just kiss my ass. That's all. So there you go. I don't know what the comments are because there's a crap ton of them. Don't forget, please, to smash the hell out of the like button because there's 4-1 watching to what the likes are. So hit the hell out of that like button. Tyreek said he was respective and had his hands on the wheel the whole time, brah. Yeah. I'm not. You use racism, bro. Did I mention racism? Where? Hey, Mecca, where did I mention racism? At all? Where did I mention racism? It's a Cuban cop and a black guy. What's racism? I didn't mention any racism. I mentioned stupidity and ignorance on all sides. That's what I mentioned. That's it. Big O is not wrong, but the same energy he gives the players, he needs to give the cops. Both screwed up, but the scary thing is the cops we are hiring needs that. Frankie, that's not going to improve, bro. I've been hearing. I just told you about Arthur McDuffie 40-something years ago, dude. 45 years ago. Nothing's changed, dude. Nothing's changed. Cops have been the same forever, and they protect each other and all that. You're dreaming. You're dreaming. Not in your lifetime. Not you're way younger than I am. Not in your lifetime will cops be able to handle and diffuse these situations. It's not who they are. They don't. You don't even follow this. Like most of you don't. They don't have enough cops all over the country. Most cities are hiring because they don't have enough. They can't even keep the people that they have. And the good cops, there's few, man. So stop with that. Oh, cops got to be better, this, that. No, watch the news. Since Tyreek was beaten and taken out of that car, 10 other people have been done that in the last 24 hours, probably. Happens all, it's not going to change. But I will tell you this, what will help on our end, if we learn how to diffuse things, if we learn how to do things that are not stupid to offset, because you just don't know when you end up with that jerk. And he ended up with that jerk. Should he be fired? Of course. Is he going to be fired? Man, I've been at this too long. I just told you, they cleared the 2 guys that killed Breonna Taylor. They just cleared the 2 guys that killed Breonna Taylor. They cleared the 5 cops that beat Arthur McDuffie into a coma 45 years ago. This ain't changing. It's not changing. It can't, unfortunately. And by the time it does, it's a half a century from now, probably. We're all dead, pretty much. Your kids maybe might have a different experience. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. Because none of us have been having a different experience for decades. All right, let's do it. Let's continue the conversation. David Furones and our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is, the one and only David Furones. You can follow him on Twitter at @DavidFurones_. Catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. How you doing, my man? Have you had an enjoyable 48 hours?
Yeah, that's right. Very busy 48 hours, and it is such a time crunch already on the short week. Luckily, whenever you do have a Thursday night game, you also get the weekend that follows kind of off. Hopefully, we don't know if there's more storylines to come with all the Tyreek Hill stuff going on.
Well, it's Tyreek Hill. There's always storylines. I mean,
right.
We just don't know when the next one will come, but this was a fresh one here that he added. You know what I mean? Look, in the end, the cop should be fired. We all know that. I mean, it's obvious. But this happens all the time. And to me, the one thing that I would say is Tyreek did nothing to diffuse it. Nothing whatsoever. The second you zoom by at 60 miles an hour in a concert, a game, or a school zone, you already pissed off the cops. That's it. You're done there. That person's already livid by the time they get to you. And then if you just hand the license and you close the window and you're kind of dismissive, just doesn't help, bro. To me, what you do is you keep your window down. He has an electric personality. Use that personality. From the second, you got to know you got pulled over for speeding, right? So apologize before anything. Officer, I am sorry. I know I was speeding. I'm so excited for game day today. I want to have a big game, against the team, against the Jags today. Here's my license and registration. I really apologize that I was speeding. And if you do something like that, I think you got a much better chance at surviving than the dismissive way. And you're on your phone trying to just call your agent, all that kind of crap. again, Tyreek was wronged. There's no doubt. But he was also in the wrong, too, at the same time. And that's the part that the easiest part is the cops. That's obvious. Not enough people have enough balls to point out that he just didn't handle anything the right way. That's just me. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I try to put myself in the same situation, and sure, I might not react the same way. I've been pulled over a couple times, and I try to remain calm. One time it was like I was running a red light, and then I wasn't going to, but then I saw the guy next to me who was behind me went ahead and did it, and I was like, oh, if he can take it, I can take it. So then I explained that to the cop, like, sorry, I know I fucked up, I shouldn't have done it, but that guy was behind me, he was taking it. So I took it, and then I ended up being behind him at that point, so he got me instead of the other guy. And, he found it like, all right, a little bit humorous that, my explanation, and just like, when it gave me my ticket, which I understood and everything. So, yeah, not all interactions are going to be that way. I don't have the same interactions that honestly that black people probably have more often than not.
No,
so especially definitely not, especially in a community where a lot of people actually look like me, where I might be more of the majority than even just white folks, white Americans. As a Cuban American, then I might run into more fellow Cuban American cops that probably on their end they wouldn't treat me the way that
I don't know about that, bro. I run into some Cuban cops that were just absolute fucking assholes. Sorry for my French, but just absolute steroid induced assholes.
Oh, sure, I've seen those too, and you see those honestly in that video, in those interactions,
and that's why I'm Mr. Nice Guy. When you pull me over, hey man, here's my license, registration. You know why I'm pulling you over? If I know I did it, then I'll just say it, because that's what I'll do. If I don't, then I'll just say, no, I'm sorry, officer, I don't. And that's it. Dude, I am not going to fight with the guy. I'm not going to argue with you at all, bro. I'm just not. I'm never going to win that. That's been my experience for a long time in this world. So just, I don't know, man.
But still, at the end of the day, the biggest issue is that that interaction does not need to result in Tyreek Hill on the ground, handcuffed, and then redirected, as they said, when it was probably more like tackled or taken down to the ground, regardless of
no doubt
of what Tyreek Hill did and his actions in this whole interaction. So I think that's still number one in what needs to be prioritized here. You mentioned that you've already pissed off the cop once. You speed by at 60 miles per hour. Okay, but
he's furious at that point. He's furious at that point right there.
Yeah,
you have lit him up. That's why.
That's
why at that second you need to diffuse, not the cop. You need to diffuse.
No, but the cop needs to diffuse too, because they're working that detail of working the game. The Dolphins are paying the overtime, by the way. I've heard from a cop.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this situation. You're
covering an event.
If you took the red light, dude, if you took the red light, the second they pull you over,
as far as the traffic violation,
you need to apologize for the red light and say, I am sorry I took the red light. Here's my license and registration. Now, if you want to be belligerent and fight about it or whatever, then that's a whole different ballgame. But he did not do that. He just gave him the license and closed the window on him, and then he's knocking on the window, and it's like, bro, just lower the damn window. And please don't give me it's hot. You crank up the AC. You stay nice and cool inside, even with a down window, please. Okay? It works for my Camry. It could work for his – what car was that? What car was that? A McLaren. It could work for his McLaren. I'm sure his AC works as good as my Camry's. Maybe not. I don't know. Camry AC is pretty special.
Well, the reason he actually gave for that, and actually that was my initial thought when I saw him raise the window back up. I said, "Ooh, that's probably not the move that he should be making." Now, his explanation later on, he said last night in the interview with CNN, was that it was starting to create a scene. He didn't want it to create a scene. Now
he didn't want it.
He didn't need to explain that, because I thought it was a valid point.
No, it's not. Did the cops allow Jonnu Smith even close? No. Nobody was going to – bro, he had the best –
They got pretty aggressive with him too.
He had better tackles than Tua had. Nobody was going to get close to that car. By the way, this is the guy that goes to malls and stands as mannequins to surprise people. I don't think he's worried about people and attention. See, that's like, oh, I can't sit down on the curb. I had knee surgery. Bro, you just ran an 80-yard touchdown. I mean, enough already. Enough. You're Hispanic. Enough con el alade, Papa. Enough with the alade. You can sit
I don't know that
just sit down on the curb. That's it. Don't fight it. Oh, I got knee surgery. No, you don't, dude. You just ran for over 100 yards and you ran a beautiful 80-yard touchdown. Your knee's just fine. Just sit down, bro. Do what they say. Never did it. Not one time did he follow orders. Not one time.
Yeah, but I think the common sense in that scenario for Tyreek Hill raising the window, that was probably a better situation to diffuse the situation and not cause attention than exactly what they did. Is now you have teammates that see it's him and they're trying to pull over and come to his aid because they think he might be in danger.
By the way, Jonnu Smith, use your head, my brother. The cop wants to arrest you and all that. You have somebody in the truck. Hey, take the truck, go around the block, come back to pick me up. I'm going to stay here. And that's it. You diffuse the situation. What did you do?
He actually did not get detained.
He did not get detained.
He was about on the verge with the way the cop came at him.
The point is, did Jonnu Smith diffuse the situation?
Did he diffuse the situation?
Yes. No, he didn't. He stayed there. He wouldn't move the truck. They asked him for the license. He wouldn't give the license. Bro, he did not pay attention to one order. And no uso la cabeza, papa. You have somebody else. You need to move the truck. Move the truck. You stay there on the sidewalk.
Well, what happens if he doesn't go and do that? If Calais Campbell doesn't go and if Drew Brooks, the Dolphins head of security, doesn't come over, if Drew Rosenhaus, Tyreek Hill's agent, doesn't come over, if all the fans aren't throwing a fit over Tyreek Hill ends up getting arrested over a traffic violation.
Well, by the way, that's what would have happened to the rest of us.
That's what would have happened to Tyreek Hill. In this case.
That's the answer to the question. What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? You would have been arrested. That's your answer, buddy. Does that person that commits a traffic violation going into Hard Rock Stadium deserve more than a ticket and to get arrested over all of that? If you end up with a bad cop and you don't listen to him.
If you end up with a bad cop.
Well, there's
you said it.
What world do you live in? What world do you live in?
One where there are certainly good cops and bad cops.
So you assume every cop that stops you is bad. So guess what? Do your best to be cordial and diffuse the situation. That's all. Assume that idiot cop that Tyreek had, that's the moron that's going to pull you over every time. So since I know that that's the moron that's getting out of the car, let me have my license or registration. Let me be cordial. If Tyreek actually lowers the window, gives his license, and shows out that personality, I think he walks away from that without incident and without a ticket. All of us would have gotten a ticket, and all of us would have been arrested if we did not follow the rules like he did. Okay?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't just be acceptable that, that was one of the bad cops, so that's the draw you get this time is that.
But that's the reality.
You end up with your face in the pavement, and you end up handcuffed, sitting on the side of the road. That's not acceptable.
I know it's not acceptable, but it's reality, dude.
It is reality.
Since we know that there's a lot of bad cops, unfortunately, we have to do our best on our side to diffuse it. That's all. I
would. I would. If I was in that scenario, I would try to do exactly what you're talking about, and I wouldn't be dismissive and make sure I follow every order.
So then, why can't he do it?
Tyreek Hill should have, in that case. But that's not okay to just say, well, because he ended up with a bad cop, and then just this is what happens. No, see, the cop should be trying to diffuse the situation. You were saying, oh well, Jonnu Smith wasn't diffusing the situation. That's not his job. The officer should be trying to keep as much peace.
And if you wait for that, you will die. If you wait for an officer to be the one to diffuse the situation, you will die. Okay, well, that's unrealistic. It's just
that's a whole bigger issue that needs to be fixed then.
You know how I started the segment? 45 years ago, Arthur McDuffie was beaten by 5 cops with flashlights way before you were born, young man. And we had riots in the early 80s because of in the early 1980s, weeks after that. Okay, nothing's changed, dude. Nothing's changed.
Were these
I just said the example. The 2 cops that killed Breonna Taylor, cleared, bro. Cleared. Blue doesn't act on blue. It ain't gonna happen. They don't have enough cops as it is. So they're gonna keep the few that they have. And the ones they have some bad ones. And unfortunately, this is the shit we gotta deal with every day. Whether you like it or not, okay? That's what we have to deal with. And we have to adjust on our side. If we expect them to do it all, bro, we're the ones that are going to end up paying the price.
Yeah, it's not expect them to do it all. It's expect them to also be better. And then, sure, on our end, comply, do everything that we need to do on our end to make sure.
No one complied there. No one complied there. And that was...
The officer is the one that's the professional trained to handle these situations and did not.
And put it this way. So you're an officer that deals with this stuff every single day. You're frustrated to hell. You're pressured. Every moment that you're out there, your life is on the line. Every time a tinted window closes, you are paranoid as hell because you don't know what's on the other side of that window.
Yeah.
All of these things happen and go through their minds. And you have to understand that these people are wound tight, low paid, stressed out. And if you act like a jerk, it's just not going to help the situation, dude. It's just not going to help the situation.
I understand their job is very difficult. And if there's tinted windows, you don't know what's going on inside. There's a lot of things that, I'm sure they all have stories from other officers that they've heard of someone getting shot at in different circumstances when they least expected it. I'm like, I wouldn't be, I don't do that job.
By the way, when I got pulled over last week, by Miccosukee police for the faded plastic tag, okay, on my car, he asked me, lower the back window. I'm by myself, but it was tinted glass. He asked me, lower the back window. Do you think I questioned it or anything? I lowered the back window and left it there, left it wide. I opened the other 2 after that. I said, officer, here you go. You can look in wherever you want.
But even as Tyreek Hill wasn't 100% complying, there were so many different ways it could have been handled by the police. Even in the worst case scenario where he gets back in the car and is like, all right, F y'all, I'm going. You know where he's going. He's Tyreek freaking Hill. He's
not all of them know that. Not all of them know that.
Yeah, as one of the videos showed, but
you
it wasn't like all of the police officers involved were oblivious. And dude, yeah, obviously this is a 5'8", 100-something pound ball of muscle. He looks incredibly athletic. He's going into the stadium 2 hours before the Dolphins game, 2.5 hours. Yeah, it's one of the Dolphins players, right? He's going toward the player entrance. Yeah, you need some awareness as some of the officers working that detail too. Like the way we prepare when we're about to cover a game and we know who's playing. If you're working that shift, if you're working that detail, you got to know a little something about the surroundings.
No, they don't, bro. No, they don't.
Tyreek Hill is one of the people that you are there to protect.
Let me tell you something.
Not arrest.
Let me tell you something. What you just said there is bullshit fantasy. Most people aren't sports fans. Okay.
One of them showed he didn't know.
Okay, no, because we get this from sports holes way too much in this whole thing. Writers and fans and all this bullshit. We're the minority, bro. Most people don't care about Tyreek or Waddle or Tua or nothing like that. The average person does not follow it, bro. They don't care about sports. We're the minority, and we got this. There's too much of this in writers and fans that you think like everybody knows our world, and that's horseshit, dude. That's absolute horseshit. Okay,
even if you don't know, the first fan that is like
they're there for the extra money, bro. They're there.
Tyreek. Then at that point, the cops should know. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. It shouldn't take like several minutes later after
they have helmets on, bro. They have helmets on.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
the only
it's
people that
creating,
really
it's only
look at
escalating because of it. Once you see that escalation, you should start to realize what's going on.
But the only people that really know the football faces are the hardcore fans. The general fan just sees them with helmets and uniforms. They don't know what they look like, dude. They have no idea. And a lot of rich people drive into that stadium with McLarens and Mercedes and all kinds of highfalutin cars and all that kind of stuff. So to them, they're just making overtime. That's what they're doing. And they don't care about anything else. They're just making overtime. Most of those guys are probably not even Dolphin fans. They don't even care.
Yeah. But then don't make a situation more extreme than it needs to be. The police should be one. Tyreek Hill is one of the Dolphins players is who you're protecting in this case, because everyone's going to watch this Dolphins game. That's why there's 70,000 people going to this one location. And in the end, just use a little bit of common sense. Once there's 1-2 people that are like screaming, oh, it's Tyreek, they got Tyreek, then start to realize, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong here. Maybe I need to like take a little step back and then just diffuse the situation instead of further escalating and being more aggressive toward Tyreek, which is only going to cause both sides to just elevate in.
Oh, yeah, no, that's it. That's what happened. That's what happened yesterday. Nobody handled it right, and it was the perfect storm for disaster. That's it. That's all. It's just that most people aren't willing to go all out and say Tyreek didn't handle it right. I don't know why, but it's just, I guess, because they think it's taboo because the cops were so wrong that, oh my God, we have to only blame it on the cops. We can't blame anything on Tyreek. And I think that's a bunch of bullshit, to be quite honest. I think that's horse shit. Okay. Because this guy constantly screws up. And that's what he's been doing off the field here for over 2 years now. Constantly involved in why isn't Tua driving 60 miles an hour into the game? Why isn't Waddle doing it? Why isn't it Teron Armstead? Why isn't it any of those guys? Their houses are on fire. Why aren't they breaking IG's legs? I don't know. You tell me. I'm just trying to figure this out. Why is it always one guy?
Yeah.
You know, and
there were things Tyreek Hill could have done better, but the worst thing was how the police treated him and the others.
Yeah, there's just a cowardly approach to the Tyreek part of it. And I just find it disrespectful in this whole situation because this guy doesn't handle any situation the right way. And so now you're going to let him get scot-free from this whole thing because because an asshole cop gets him off the hook? No, dude. You're the guy doing 60 miles an hour. You're the guy that's not paying attention and not obeying what's going on. I got to blame you, dude, also. I got to blame you. You deserve some blame here.
And to that, I also point out, the police also had Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2019, class act by all accounts, anyone who's ever interacted with him, Calais Campbell, also in handcuffs.
Yeah.
So don't play the game of, well, Tyreek Hill has this history, Calais Campbell does not, and the cops were super aggressive toward him, and John Smith, who's also a guy who's a class act.
And class act.
Who are trying to de-escalate and diffuse the situation.
We can all be class acts. Was John Smith following orders? Did they not tell him not to park there initially? Did they not say that?
But then what happens if he doesn't?
No.
Tyreek Hill ends up arrested over this. Would you believe that if that actually all went through?
Yes, I would. I
mean,
just my brother. Yes, I would believe it. You know why, David? You and I would have been arrested. We wouldn't have gotten away. He got away because he's Tyreek. Because other people showed up. That's why he got away.
There was one time driving into the stadium, I got shouted out rather aggressively initially by a cop because he
wasn't polite.
Well,
pobrecito.
Well,
for you, bro.
No, let me tell a story. You interrupt too much. All right, the cop is stopped over on the right side. People pass by on a walkway. This is when I was covering so 4 or 5 years ago. So then I'm going left side. I think the cop is just parked there. I think it's just a police car that's just sitting there. Fans pass by. There's another group coming in a little bit, but I'm like, all right, there's plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead. So the cop then all of a sudden just hurries up, and I hear them shouting. I see the lights, and the cop's already shouting, assuming it's just a fan. He goes, "What are you, drunk already?" And is getting my attention. I think it's someone that's I went to the wrong place. I grabbed my media parking pass and I hold it up just to be like, no, I know I'm supposed to go this way. And then it was like the guy in the cop in the passenger seat was like telling him, oh, no, like he's just like going. He was telling me, don't you see, we're letting the fans pass by too. And I was like, honestly, I thought it was just a parked cop car there that was monitoring stuff. So I thought I had enough time to go, and I went. Now, eventually, yeah, they just said, all right, yeah, I mean, go ahead. Like, but yeah. They were aggressive initially, but the situation diffused. But still, it could happen. There's a situation where I was not arrested for maybe a similar thing, a potential traffic violation, the way they saw it going into the stadium.
That doesn't sound like 60 miles an hour.
I wasn't going 60, no.
Okay. That's 60 miles an hour in an event. But let me tell you something. I've been going through that street for 25 years. You can't go 50 Monday through Friday. They have a speed trap under the passway, under the bypass. Constantly, the cops are there in Miami Gardens clocking people. And if you go 50, if you go 40, I think it's 35 or 40, the speed limit there, if I'm correct. Is it 35 or 40? Which one is it? Do you know? It's one of the two.
I'd have to be there and see.
If you go 45 or 50, they bust your ass there. If you go 60, oh my God, they'll go crazy there, the Miami Gardens cops. So that's the other thing that just kind of, exasperated the situation and wasn't any good. All right, let's get to injuries.
Yeah, let's actually get to some football here. The injury report just came out.
Yes, and
same as the Monday one. It was another estimation because the Dolphins did not practice. So still Achane, Mostert, and Malik Washington. Had the Dolphins practice, would be DNPs, and then the same guys limited: Liam Eichenberg, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Ramsey, and David Long full participation. So all consistent with yesterday's injury report. In another estimation.
You're getting the feeling Jalen Wright might play on Thursday?
Yeah, actually, I went up to him in the locker room and just today and got his perspective on finding out that he was one of the healthy inactives, and he felt he handled it like a pro. This is his first week as a pro, and he had to get a little dose of reality as a talented rookie, and he understood, hey, I've got some talented veterans ahead of me. Maybe some people would be surprised that Jeff Wilson got in ahead of him, but he was the key to the game in the fourth quarter too. So I think he just understood it and told me he's going to approach it going forward, just like every week, like he needs to be ready, like if he is going to play. So I was impressed with his approach as a young player and understanding of the situation.
I wouldn't play Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
It sounds like they may play him, right? Because that's why I was thinking Kamara was out, because then they'll use Kamara this week and give Phillips off and then give him 10 days for his next game. But it kind of looks like Jalen may play, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think from everything we've heard and seen is that they were pleased with how Jalen Phillips and also Jalen Ramsey did with actually surpassing their snap count limitations with the tight game and maybe getting a lot of reps early. They went past the numbers they were thinking about, the Dolphins had internally, and actually it was just a byproduct of that they were feeling good as they were running around. So we need to get more clarity on how they recovered coming off of it. But it seems like, before we hear from McDaniel on Wednesday, which I think would be telling if we get that answer, he spoke yesterday, but it was all about the Tyreek Hill stuff. Then we'll probably know more and get a final game status designation on the final injury report Wednesday. But it seems like it went well for them, even as they did surpass the snap count they had envisioned.
By the way, it was funny as hell that Tua tells the story that he walks over to Tyreek and the group, and they're all talking about the incident, but he doesn't pick up on it. And then he leaves to continue his preparation. He's by a TV, and then he sees it, and then he picks up on what the news. It just shows how Tua is so disconnected from the social media world and all that stuff. So if people really think like he's following it, like he'll hear about stuff, but he isn't following it minute by minute. That's for sure.
Yeah. I would have had to be, have been someone telling him in the locker room, and I guess he couldn't pick up enough context clues whenever he went up to that group in the locker room. I mean, could probably what I'm envisioning is he could tell it was something serious, but without having the context of what it was, just kind of was like, all right, I'm going to step aside. And then actually found out with some news coverage at one of the TVs around the tunnels or something. So, yeah, that was interesting that was his just experience taking in all the news.
By the way, Ocala Joe's taking a shot at you. He says, if we followed Furones' logic, once the cops realized it was Tyreek Hill, they should have just apologized to Tyreek for even stopping him. Outrageous.
No, he should be given a ticket the way anyone should for a traffic violation. but not get ripped out of the car and
that part's
right, thank you.
You can't do it. Yeah, like some guy here says, Rubo, I disagree with you. You put 70% Tyreek's fault, 30% cops overreacted. I would actually reverse it. 70% is the cops, and then 30% is Tyreek. The reason why I'm riding Tyreek is because I knew most people would just sidestep it and go over it and just blame the obvious, which is the cops, which we all know that. This happens every day. This is normal. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? But Tyreek's got to learn, too, to handle the situation, and he doesn't handle anything right, dude.
Yeah, you're still at the heart of his saying, yes, cops, we know, deserve more of the blame, but you want to point out that Tyreek did not handle himself as perfectly as he should.
No, Tyreek's an idiot.
Okay, yeah, you want to go a little step further.
Let's be clear. Tyreek went 60 miles an hour inside a sporting event. Okay, he did not pay attention to the cops. He doesn't even have proper etiquette. Keep your window down. Use your personality. Be contrite, bro. Right from the get-go, you're guilty. You're done right there, bro. You were doing 60. And by the way, for this other idiot that chimed in, Hector, hey, 60 is cruising, bro. We're talking about the area, not the car, you moron. But anyway.
He's getting into a congested area, a lot of foot
traffic.
traffic.
Bro, there's people there. Be smart, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just he is not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, and he constantly is doing stupid shit like this. So I'm going to point that out because everyone's going to lean to the cops, and that's the obvious that guy was a hothead. We all know that already. Wow, that really takes a lot. But you need to point out that he just has no proper etiquette whatsoever on how to handle these situations, and that's why he ended up like this. So that's all. That's just my beef. What do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, it's all Tyreek all the time right now, but trying to get ready also for a Thursday night game, Dolphins-Bills. So yesterday I wrote Jordan Poyer's perspective facing his former team now for the first time, writing a bunch of what Tua said about the game itself, but then also a lot of the Tyreek Hill coverage, a lot of the reaction around Dolphins facilities, what coaches were saying, how teammates are trying to show support for Tyreek Hill himself, and then get ready for game day, previewing the game tomorrow.
You got it, and we'll talk to you on Thursday night. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones, and of course, call my friends at Welt and Rayom 954-966-4646. Jeff and Dan, they know how to get it done. They are the best in the business. I've been telling you about them now for, it's about 4 years now that I've been telling you about Welt and Rayom. And with storm season here, man, I'm telling you, the guys will take care of you before you call the insurance company. You call my friends at Welt and Rayom. They will send over their adjusters, and then they will handle the insurance company for you. 954-966-4646. Also, bankruptcy is an issue. A lot of people are filing for bankruptcy. Americans are going into their savings like they haven't in decades. And a lot of folks are going into their 401ks like they haven't. Why? Because of inflation, because of soaring prices. And that has put some people into some difficult situations. If you're facing bankruptcy issues, please call Welt and Rayom. They can help you out. 954-966-4646. David, we'll catch you on Thursday night, my friend. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. If you play window games with the police, they get pissed. Side officer safety, and you're coming out of the car, but this cop went 0 to 10 in a second. Yeah. That's why I say we have to do our part, because those people are everywhere. And it's the best thing you do is to diffuse the situation. Don't count on the cop to diffuse it. Do not do that. Just don't. It won't work. It will not work. You must take the responsibility yourself. And if you think that you shouldn't, then it's not going to end well for you. And if you think you can fight them, it's not going to end well for you. And if you think you're going to get away with arguing and being disrespectful and dismissive, it's just not going to help you. It's just not. I'm sorry. So you guys can, get all, hot and bothered about it, but it's a lot deeper than just, we know that the cops are screwed up. It's obvious. That's proven every day, every single day. But we can't contribute to it. We can't. I overtook Metro bus with a cop right behind me. Smart. The cop pulled me over and came over me like John Wayne before a fight. I immediately told him I'm sorry. I knew what I did. No problem. It helps. Contrition helps, dude. It helps. If you're speeding and you know you're speeding, and then he pulls you over, she pulls you over, and then they tell you that you're speeding, and you argue with them that you're not speeding, it's over, bro. You just pissed them off even more. They know you're high, they know you're drunk, they know you're speeding, they know this, but you're telling them you're not. It won't end well. Man, I hope we beat the Bills, Big O. Amen to that, Chase. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the program, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we love that. Just like we love the Jets losing last night, 32-19. That was nice. Let's see. Big O, this reminds me of the part in Liar Liar when Jim Carrey told the client over the phone, "Stop breaking the law, asshole." Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. It's a polarizing argument because both sides are deeply set in their ways. You have the brats against the responsible adults. Problem is there wasn't anybody responsible there. Everybody's a brat. I don't give anybody a break in that situation. I'm sorry. I just don't. And cops are obviously, it's obvious he's at fault, but there's not enough people calling out Tyreek. And that's where I find it cowardly. And I get it from fans because you're fans, you're fanatics. So, you feel like if you call out your own player, you're going against your team or something silly like that, In other football news, Deshaun Watson has been named in a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault. Yeah, who wants him now, huh? We dodged the bullet not getting Watson. Amen. Richard is agreeing with me. There you go. One agrees with me. Roid rage at its best. Did you, Thomas, brother, isn't that what you said? I thought the same thing too, bro. I thought the same thing. I mean, a lot of these cops, they just look like they're roided out, especially like Miami-Dade and Metro-Dade and all that. You see a lot of those, dudes that are all pumped up and you're like, yeah. That's why I'm telling you, man, it's up to us to diffuse every situation that you possibly can. I'm telling you, it's the best way to deal with these psychos, Cincy Bourne says these cops might have saved a life. He could have been minutes from hitting someone. Tyreek is messed up in the head to drive through the not parking area, but 199, which is right. Well, actually, there is people parking on both sides. but they're crossing the streets and all that kind of stuff, and it's just stupid. Just stupid, bro. You don't do 60 there in non-games. I'm dead serious. Go Wednesday in the afternoon and drive 60 miles an hour down 199 between 27 and 441. Please do that. Let me see how that works out for you. You will get pulled over. Oh my God, Miami Gardens cops are there all the time. All the time. And you're going to speed there during a game? It's crazy, man. Stem cell treatments have a weird side effect they haven't discovered yet. I didn't know it was possible to go over 60 miles an hour inside. Well, it's the street, so yeah, you can. Yeah. And a McLaren, hell, you can hit 60 in a block, half a block or something. Years ago, I lived reckless and was constantly interacting with police. I changed and hardly see them now. What a concept, huh? Ocala Joe says, bad situation all around. The only thing that was learned here is that we expose these out of control cops who behave like idiots in front of 70,000 cameras. Exactly. And will Tyreek Hill ever get it? That's the other thing. Will Tyreek Hill ever get it? Ever. To me, both Tyreek and the officer were wrong. Tyreek was non-compliant with the window. The second cop was wrong for pulling Tyreek out of the car and tossing him to the ground. Zachary, you, sir, are a logical and sensible human being. Unlike some of these little sensitive Dolphin fans. Oh, please don't criticize Tyreek. Oh, you're picking on Tyreek because you didn't want them to extend him. Silly. Stephen A called out Tyreek? No. Screaming A did that? Good for him. There's some responsible people out there that are going to call it like they see it instead of cowards who just want to go after the cops. Good for him if he really did that. Wow. They go, beating the Bills would be huge. It's time for Miami to take that division. Arnaldo, it's going to happen, bro. It's going to happen. Relax. It's like Cosa Nostra. There was like an early, is it still there? No, it's probably gone. You could tell me you have it there. It's like right at the beginning, first few texts. He's like, I'm paraphrasing, but like, he's like, all these people that don't like Tua or don't believe in Tua. I'm like, bro, why are you worried about that stuff? Like, who gives a shit who doesn't like Tua? I believe in Tua, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I don't care who doesn't believe in him. Screw that. By the way, R&M Contractors, Ray and the boys, they know how to get it done, man. I'm telling you. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrade, appliances and all, waterproofing on your terrace, balcony, impact windows, door installations, bathroom upgrades, floor restoration, maintenance, stucco repairs, interior and exterior paint, dry walls, level 5 finish, by the way. Miami-Dade, Broward, they can take care of you. New high-end custom homes. They can help you out with the electrical, the plumbing, the mechanical, the upgrades. Also, they can help you with the kitchens, the bathrooms, the floorings. Please call Ray right now, 305-345-3649. Ray Martinez, proud sponsor, R&M Contractors of the program. Ray is a big supporter of the show. You hear him all the time here. He's either chiming in or making a donation and sending in a comment or two. Ray's great people, and they do amazing work. So check them out there at R&M Contractors. Let's see. What are we talking about? Yeah, David let Tyreek get back in his McLaren to speed 100 miles an hour. Damn, Big O, damaging his brain by the minute. I don't have one anymore. That one cop, fragile. He was looking for a reason to escalate. Yeah, no doubt. He's a hothead. But like him, there's tons, bro. There's tons. And we have to be careful. And I'm just giving you the advice that's gotten me through nearly 60 years. you're not going to win the fight. So why do it? You know? These Cuban cops don't know who Tyreek is. It's not baseball. It's cops in general. Stop Cuban or Puerto Rican or American, or it's human beings in general. Most of them don't follow sports. You guys got to stop with that shit. Just because we live in this world of sports 24 hours a day and all that stuff, your wives have to follow it because you're doing it. But if not, they'd be fine just watching American Idol and Survivor and everything else, dude. Unless you actually have a sports woman, you know what I'm saying? But more often than not, more of the people around you, they don't care. You got to stop with that. Don't assume that everybody follows sports. It's just not true. It's actually the complete opposite of that. The minority are the ones that follow sports. Big O is the dude who could be friends with black people, but as soon as he gets mad at them, he's going to call them the N-word. Exactly, Travis. Exactly. Right. Yeah, that's me. Right. Big O, you need Omar Kelly for this segment. Let's see. Why are we making excuses for Tyreek? Both were wrong, but Tyreek escalated the situation with his arrogance and failure to comply. When you're a DWB, you have to comply to get out of the situation. Oh, driving while black. Now I know what you're saying. I got you, Horn Dog. And that's how I felt in Alabama, Horn Dog. Big redneck trooper sees my license, and then I tell him I'm Cuban, and he says, didn't know the rafts floated that far. Funny, by the way. It's a funny-ass joke. It really is a funny joke. It's a good joke. Insulting, racist, all that. Yes. But again, I come from Don Rickles, so it does nothing to me. So I stayed with no expression. And he just walked back to the car. That's it. But that's kind of what I felt, Horn Dog, at that moment. Obviously, I had a PE teacher named Chesno. Okay? That's his name, Chesno. Anybody can mark it down, and they know. We went to Arbondale Elementary back in the early 70s. And he hated Cubans. And he told you he hated Cubans. Oh, you damn Cubans. By the way, Arbondale Elementary is in the heart of Little Havana. Right behind Velvet Cream. Right there on 8th Street. Right across from the cemetery. Okay? Across from Pastorita. All right? So we're talking about it's a Cuban neighborhood. Tons of Cubans go to that school. He's teaching tons of. By the way, you want to talk about a man that can compartmentalize? The greatest PE teacher I ever had was that racist dude. To this day, he's my favorite PE teacher. And he hated all of us that came from, where our parents came from. Because most of us were born here, at that time. But it's just funny. And he was my favorite PE teacher. And he literally hated Cubans. And he would say it. And when he'd get mad at you, he'd send you to the trees to go sit down and watch everybody else run around in PE. That's how he punished you. It's funny. It's the stuff that we deal with in life. Everybody deals with some kind of bias or racism or some sexism or something. Women deal with it every day of their lives. But you have to try to learn to diffuse a lot of these situations. It's not really going to help you to go the other way. Let's see. That's Omar left. No, Omar didn't leave. Nobody left, bro. I had to. They weren't exclusive. They got other jobs, so everybody would stay. You know what I mean? But there's a technicality that comes with working here. You've got to be exclusive. That's kind of the way it goes. Let's see. What else? The cops are Cuban, Big O. Will not say anything bad about Cubans. Did I not just rip the guy? Did I not just call it steroid heads and all that? Like, you people, like William in Jacksonville, like, you're stupid, bro. You don't listen or something? I've been ripping those cops like crazy. I rip them all the time. So some of you out there, man, it's just you lack intelligence. Big O, is it Tua's fault? Tyreek got it. Yes, actually, DJ Ozone. That's a good point on your part. We got to blame Tua for all of this. It is Tua's fault. That cop being a jerk is Tua's fault. Yep, that's a good one. I forgot all about that. We have to blame Tua for all of this. Okay. What else? That's their profession, to know what a person looks like. Okay. Calais was told over and over and over, but didn't. Nobody listened, Rubo. Nobody listened. Nobody took an order there at all. Nobody. So there you go. Skylar says Big O doesn't like Tyreek. That's been obvious for a year now. He's biased as the person. Yeah, I think he's actually pretty much a disaster. Yeah, that's why I said you shouldn't give him any extra money after this year and part ways. Yeah, same thing I did. I said the same thing about X. Was I wrong? Said the same thing. You got to part ways with Butler. Was I wrong? I said you shouldn't sign Whiteside to that big contract. Was I wrong? No, it's pretty consistent. When somebody is not really the player they were or a problem, they probably shouldn't continue. That's all. And look what he's done again. And we'll see what's next with him, unfortunately. Same thing with X. It was always something, always something, always something. But I get it, man. Joe Fan can't deal with the honesty because then oh my God, if he's not part of our team, oh no. That kind of stuff. So, what else do we have here on the chat board? Big O, I'm also from the Rickles Dangerfield era, and we used to say, I've been called a lot worse by a lot better than you. Exactly. Tony Martinez, people piling the race card are just plain ignorant, has nothing to do with race or color of your skin. It all comes down to that badge they all wear and share. Exactly. And he abused the badge, like I'm sure he's done many other times. And that's it. And there's a lot of people like that. And you're going to run into them. You and I are going to run into them, unfortunately. Bigger story, RIP to James Earl Jones, legend. Akeem came to America to spy on his royal oats. Wait, Mr. McDowell, my son works? Yes. By the way, Coming to America was on the other day. I was watching it. I ran into, I forgot what channel or some crap. It's some kind of romantic family-like channel or something. I forgot the name of the channel or something, but I ran into it. It was, I stayed watching it for a few minutes because, it's just, Coming to America will never get old, dude. Just never gets old. Big Bang Theory, what?
I like this episode on Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yes. Well, with James Earl Jones.
When he played himself.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the first time him and Carrie Fisher actually had met.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But he is, wow. And I didn't know he had a stutter.
No,
Did you know he stuttered?
No, I didn't. I told my daughter that, the voice of Darth Vader, and she goes, "Oh, you mean Mufasa?"
Right.
I'm like,
right. To her, it's
slap you in
Mufasa.
the damn head.
Well, to her, it's
No,
Mufasa.
it should be Star Wars still. Still Darth Vader.
Well, to us, it's Darth Vader, but to her, it's Mufasa. Yeah, I get it. get it. Lion King is, I get it. That's their era, dude. And they don't gravitate to Star Wars like we do. It's different. It's understandable. But yeah, James Earl Jones, he did get 93. So bless him for that, because I'd like 93, bro. 93 is pretty good, man. That wouldn't be too bad. David Furones sounded surprised to hear Cuban police can be racist towards other Cubans. Bro, they can be major. I've had one that was like a major. It was a Hialeah cop, major jerk. Yeah, dude, attitude. Yeah. And again, I was as nice as I could be. I no matter what, I'm just going to play nice, bro. Whatever, bro, you want to give me a ticket for, go ahead, dude. I'm just not going to fight it. I'll just go to school. I'll pay it. I'll deal with the insurance, whatever I have to do. But I'm not going to jail, and I'm not going to fight, and I'm not going to end up in a Barry Jackson article or anything like that. No, I'm not doing that. So 80 yards after being detained. That's crazy work, huh? It's pretty good. Tua's on pace for 5,748 passing yards. Tyreek's on pace for 2,210 receiving yards, and Waddle's on pace for 1,853 yards after one game. That is awesome. Cupcake schedule for the U. Yes, there is. Payroll Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. There you go. Are you worried about this being a distraction? No, dude. This is not a distraction. It didn't affect them in the game. They won. They overcame. They won. They beat the Bills. No excuses. There were no excuses to lose to the Jags. I told you going into the game, right? We talked about it. Hey, the losses of Chubb and OBJ and a couple other guys. I forgot which ones there were missing. Not enough to lose the game. So find a way to win. And they won. And they're healthy enough to beat the Bills. By the way, the Bills lost Teron Johnson, their slot corner. We will talk tomorrow. We are going to have a Buffalo Bills insider. Jay Skursky will be joining us from the Buffalo News. So we'll have some fun with Jay. Remember, tomorrow we're on at noon because we are at, what's that called? Toyota of Hollywood. Okay? So we'll be having some fun there at Toyota of Hollywood. All right. By the way, we need to come up with a Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. And, we went through the stretch here for a few weeks because we didn't have much to really find MVPs of the night. And you're wondering, who could he possibly be picking for MVP of the night? Nothing really locally last night was really going on. But I'll tell you who was our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP?
For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com.
Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
All right. You know who my Cutter's Edge? Can you take a guess who my Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night is? Huh? No, she didn't play last night. Kaylin Clark didn't play last night.
I don't know. And I'm trying to think what happened yesterday.
Jordan Mason happened yesterday.
Oh, duh. Monday Night Football, yeah.
Running back for the San Francisco 49ers.
Although he had to flub at the end.
Hey, he led the ass kicking of the New York Jets 32-19. Okay.
The ass kicking of the 49ers front office, too.
Well, hey, listen, all I'm saying is 28 for 147 and a touchdown. I got to give him my Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night, because William Quigley and the boys, they will run down that old, tired out yard of yours and just bring that landscaping beautiness to life. They can do that. They can rework that entire yard of yours, front yard, backyard. your business, your HOA complex, call William Quigley and the boys, 954-472-0622, tree trimming and removals, irrigation and design, synthetic turf, outdoor lighting, landscape design. You are going to love it. Telling you, Mike is he's an artist. He is the Picasso of designing everything. Our oasis is growing every single day, and it's a beautiful thing. I love it how we're having more and more shade in the backyard. So it starts getting nice and warm. Nice and cooler in the backyard while it's hot, man. That Sylvester palm, that thing covers a lot of ground, man. Go check out the great people at 3A Cutter's Edge Pro. And by the way, quality trees, all that. Because a lot of people, you buy trees and they give you these little skinny ass trees. These people give you quality trees, man. So if you want it done right and the artificial turf done right, call up my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, because if you have dogs, the artificial turf is the greatest invention in mankind. So Jordan Mason ran hard, man, because yesterday they were missing their top dog, and you were thinking, okay, this is going to be a problem. And Mason, it reminded me of the older Shanahan using Orlandis Gary and then Mike Anderson after Terrell Davis, had to step out because of the knee, and he had to retire from football. And then he just continued rushing with other guys. And Jordan Mason kind of reminded me of that. Like, no Christian McCaffrey, and here comes Jordan Mason, 28 rushes, 147 yards, and an ass kicking of the Jets. That gets me our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. Ragin says, is Rodgers buying a Super Bowl ticket? That's the only way he's getting there. That moment that when they show what is it, Hackensack? What's the guy's name? Hackett talking to him, and he's not even looking at him and not paying attention and looking the other way. That is just absolutely awesome. My new football chant is Go Bills ABS F Hill. Okay. Jordan Mason kind of reminded me of how Chris Brooks runs, perhaps faster. Yeah, he ran hard. Yeah, he does run like a punishing back. I will agree with that one. Aaron, sorry, Rodgers said they can't wait to face them in the Super Bowl. Let's see. Big O Tyreek needs to start listening to John Cougar Mellencamp Authority song. Yeah, he's not very good with authority. Thank you, Big O, for advising on how a stressful cop's job is. Yeah, it's stressful. It's not desirable. It's thankless. It doesn't get the support it deserves. And unfortunately, and then the worst part for cops is they do their job, right? And they put away bad people, and our justice system is so garbage, we put them back out on the streets right away. And that must be demoralizing for them also. And then they got to deal with a-holes every single day. That's why I'm telling you, these people are so wound tight more often than not. You better assume every time you get pulled over, you got somebody that is just stressed to hell and can be pushed to the brink very easily. And that's why, whether you like it or not, you need to assume the responsibility of diffusing these kind of situations every single time. Do not do anything ever to escalate it, because it will not help. It never helps, really, to be quite honest. And I know it's hard to understand. I know it's hard to accept, but it's the reality that we live in. And there's too many of you that live in fantasy, thinking that utopia exists and that cops are going to be perfect and respectable and diffuse every situation and understand every culture and all that. Bull crap, dude. Bull crap. We have bias and negative people in every walk of life. Teachers and lawyers and judges and cops and salespeople and anything and everything that exists. You must take the responsibility of doing it. If you don't, there's a good chance that you will fail yourself in that situation. And you could do wonders for yourself if you just act like a decent human being. And when you're busted for something, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the football player, basketball player, or soccer player that committed the foul. The ref calls a foul out, and he's arguing the kingdom hell that he didn't commit the foul. And it's obvious he committed the foul. That's what it reminds me of. The person that gets pulled over by the cop, you know you took the stop sign. You know you were speeding. You know you went over the double line. You know you turned on red. And then you argue with the cop that you didn't do it. What do you think that does? It sucks, but that's what you have to do. And if you don't, won't end well. It's a good chance. So that's why I will lay some of the blame on Tyreek. I have to. It's the responsible thing to do. What else do we have? Let's see. You never see 1,000 times nice cops deal with jerks. It's just hard, man. It's just hard. There's a lot of jerks out there too. The Finns are a 2.5-point favorite. Actually, yes, they're 2 now. This morning there were 2. Okay, they were 1.5 yesterday. Now they're 2. It went up 0.5 point. You can't always assume a cop will be reasonable. It's just like crossing a street when you have the right of way. You still have to look both ways. That is fantastic, Ray. I love that. You just don't cross the street without looking. You still got to look. No matter how the road might be as desolate as whatever it is, you still got to look. Amen, my man. Amen. And that's why I live my life this way. Whatever cop pulls me over, I say, "Oh shit." Even if I've done nothing, even if I'm innocent, whatever, I'm like, "Oh shit." And I think the worst. And so then I prepare myself for the worst, and then I become the nicest person I can be, the most cordial person I can be if I don't know what I did. But if I know what I did, the best way to diffuse it is by telling the cop exactly what you did. It's the most beautiful thing that happens more often than not. If you tell the cop, "Officer, I am really sorry, sir. Here's my license. I know you're pulling me over because I was going 10 miles over the speed limit. I really apologize. I'm running late. There's no excuse. I screwed up." You have no idea how far that goes. None. "Yes, I took the stop sign. I'm sorry." "Yes, officer, I was speeding at 60 miles an hour, and I should know better. There are pedestrians all over here. They're coming to see the game. In fact, they're coming to see me. Here's my license. I'm sorry. I'm just excited that it's the new season, and I want to play well against the Jags today. I am really sorry, and I understand if you give me the ticket." What do you think if Tyreek Hill does that? Do you think he gets a ticket? At worst, right? At worst. At worst. At worst, if Tyreek Hill just says, pulls the McLaren window down, has his license and registration out, "Officer, I am really sorry. I know I was speeding, and I'm so excited for the game. I didn't realize it. You know, I feel like I'm out on the field right now going to play against the Jags. I really want to play well today. Here's my license, and I can completely understand if you give me a ticket. I deserve it." That contrition right there diffuses. That guy comes off the bike all pissed, and now you just diffused him. The best way you can diffuse him. Now, if he escalates it from that, well, you can't do anything about that. But like, you're following everything. Keep the window. And by the way, folks, always keep your window down when there's a cop in front of you. You don't raise it until they go to the car. When they go to the car, then you raise your window. It's not a law. It's called etiquette. It's called decency, not dismissive. And let me close the window on you. Get out of here, bro. So, Big O, let's get off the controversial subject of Tyreek, something a little lighter, like who do you think is going to win the debate tonight? I think Kamala will win tonight. The polls are close, so that's good. So we'll see what happens. I just don't know if he'll control himself. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And she's going to do her best to try to, poke the bear. She's going to try to get him to say something, So we'll see. That'll be the interesting part about this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Either way, we're screwed. Doesn't matter. They gave us two shitty candidates again, so it doesn't really matter. Either way, it doesn't matter which one you vote in. They both will print $10 trillion in the next 4 years. Okay? We're a debt-ridden society. It's the only way they can run the government, through debt. It's all we can do. No one's going to save us anymore. That's the beauty of this whole situation. It's ugly, but that's the beauty of it. Because if you're facetious and ridiculous and foolish to think that Kamala is going to save you or Trump's going to save you, please, dude. We're so deep in the hole, you cannot climb out of it. There's no way to climb out of this hole. Okay? It's just no way. So it doesn't really matter, but whatever. We'll see. We'll see. Agree with you 100%. Some battles you are never going to win. It's called verbal judo. You de-escalate, and they have to respond with less aggressiveness. Yeah. But Tyreek doesn't know. He doesn't have that in his DNA, unfortunately. Ragin says, just treat everybody with respect, and everything takes care of itself. Yep. The incident is as ugly as the Giants' uniforms. I don't know. The Giants' uniforms might be uglier. Will the orangutan call her stupid and ugly? I don't know. That's the thing. Will the orangutan lose his cool? Big O, do your own poll on here, Trump or Harris? I don't really care about that. I don't really care about either side, dude. I'm not excited about either side. I'm not rooting for either side. So I really don't care about them. It's just, what are you going to do? We're screwed. Big O, hear me out. It's Tua's fault Tyreek got pulled over. I agree. I think it was Tua pressing the accelerator. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Those throwback Giant uniforms this weekend were, I'm telling you, not as ugly as the play of Daniel Jones, but they were ugly. By the way, let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The great Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery. Call my guy wherever your business is, your school, your club, whatever, your fantasy league, whatever it is that you need. Actually, we had a listener of ours that has a 4-league fantasy thing and did shirts for all of them. It's like 48 shirts or something. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so schools, businesses, all kinds of stuff. Call 3A Graphics, Alan Blanco. This is his direct number, 786-618-1443. Hats and shirts and uniforms, whatever it is you need, they do it all for you. Call them at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443, wherever you live in the country, because you guys can do all this stuff. Because he tells me most of this stuff is done by Zoom and StreamYard and pictures and all that kind of stuff, and then stuff is shipped out after. So you can reach out to him and check it out and support the great people that support us. San Francisco last night beat the Jets, yes, 32-19. Aaron Rodgers, a sizzling 13 of 21 for 167 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. He was just fantastic. Jordan Mason, 28 rushes, 147 yards, and a touchdown. That was impressive for San Francisco. The Bills and the Dolphins Thursday night. Dolphins are now favored by 2, up from 1.5. The over and under is 49. And Bills plus 105, Dolphins minus 125. Bills cornerback Teron Johnson, slot cornerback, is out for the game. So the backup will have to take over there. We will have Jay Skursky joining us tomorrow from the Buffalo News. He'll join us, I believe it's at 12:30 when he's going to join us. So we'll preview the Dolphins and the Bills with the Skursky man tomorrow here on the show. All right. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Let's see. What else? Big O Tyreek was listening to you to hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Dave Edmonds when he got pulled over. Or I could also go with Cheech and Chong. When the cop is knocking on Cheech's window, right? It's Tommy Chong, right? Cheech's window, and they're both getting high. And he looks over and he goes, "Keep on knocking, but you can't come in." For those of you that remember that. Dave in Vernizzi, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you. Coach AJ, thank you. Also, donation on Cash App. I'm sure minors watch this show, listen to Big O. I mean, hey, some people think it's bad advice to be nice to cops. Some people think it's bad advice that you should be cordial. I got ripped all kinds of ways yesterday on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? They called me a bootlicker because I'm cordial when cops pull me over. Oh, so you're just a bootlicker. Oh yeah, no, you're Mr. Tough Guy, right? Why don't you go drive 60 miles an hour at Dolphins and don't do anything that cops tell you? Tell me how that works out for you. Tell me if you only get a citation. Something tells me, no matter what color you are, by the way, nationality or sexuality, if you speed at 60 in the Dolphins game and don't follow what they say, I bet you get arrested because you're not Tyreek Hill. It's really amazing. It's funny, is what it is. It's actually funny. Oh, what can I tell you? Big O, are the Cardinals winning Sunday? Well, I don't even know who they're playing. Chris, I'd be lying to you, bro. I have not looked at it, so I am not sure who they're even playing. But I will look it up right now for you and see who the hell they're playing. I barely won with them this week. Jesus, I won by half a point. But hey, winning is winning. It doesn't matter. You know? Got to get it done one way or another. But I won by half a point. So I thank Kyler Murray with that. I know you had more higher expectations there. You wanted them to actually win the game. I think you wanted them to win by like 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals, they are taking on the Rams. At home, by the way, the Cardinals are home. Both teams are 0-1. Rams didn't play too bad this past week, even though they had what were they on their 3rd tackle, right? They were missing 2 tackles the other night, I think it was. Yeah, man. Everybody gets injuries, bro. It's just not the Dolphins. Wow, that's a tough one. I got to see the point spread in that game. What is that point? Oh, look, here it is. Arizona by 1.5. I'm going to pick the Rams. I like what I saw from the Rams this week. I just think Detroit's a better team than them. Yeah, I probably will go Rams here against the Cardinals. It's probably what I'm going to lean. I'm sorry, because I know you're a big Cards guy. Cop, can I see your license? Cheech. It's right. It's right there on the bumper, man. It's on the bumper, man. Let's see. How's my driving? Hey, man, I think you're parked. First, we need to talk about having you at the bar in Pensacola. Second, do you think the Smiths would have been what would have been without Johnny Moore? Oh, no. I don't know. You would have not had the Smiths. Now, here's the screwed up part that I've thought about this many times when it comes to the Smiths. By the way, that'll lead me. I'll go into the music stuff here in a second. Then, the Smiths, Johnny Marr is he's a genius, right? But if you go and look at the catalog that Morrissey has now built on his solo career, it is Hall of Fame worthy. Hall of Fame. He's got so many great songs on his own that stand alone without the Smiths. So Alan White, I believe, is the guitarist he had for a while now. I think Alan's no longer with him now. In this last album that wasn't released, the Bonfires of the Vanity or something like that, I believe Alan White is not on it, and I know he didn't tour. The last time I saw him, Alan wasn't with him actually, which I was kind of amazed. And he's a fantastic guitarist, and he did a great job with Morrissey. I know the Smiths wouldn't be the Smiths without Johnny Marr, because Johnny Marr is a genius, dude. So yeah, no way. I don't think that they become the band that they became without Marr and Morrissey. You have to have those two. You have to have the writing and you have to have the music. And you know how they did it, right? I don't know if you know how they created music. Johnny Marr would create the song. Then he'd hand the song to Morrissey, and Morrissey would go into a room and write the words that he felt went with that music. It's kind of interesting because a lot of times you write the song lyrics and then you start to think about the music that you can adapt to it. It went the other way around, and it was also not collaborative. Johnny was making the music, and Morrissey had the lyrics. So it was kind of an interesting combination, man. You know what I'm saying? But Morrissey's catalog, oh my God, dude. It has become an absolutely monstrous catalog. It is a fantastic catalog, a Hall of Fame worthy catalog. But there's no doubt that without the great Johnny Marr, you're not getting anywhere, man. You're not getting anywhere. Johnny's a monster. That's why he did great shit with with Electronic. He was with Susie and the Banshees. I mean, he's done all kinds of stuff, man. He is as special as they get. Johnny's a stud. Absolute total stud. All right, let's start off with musicians born on September 10th. Let's go with Matthew Followill, lead guitarist from Kings of Leon, born on this date in 1984. Mikey Way, bassist from My Chemical Romance, born on this date in 1980. Siban Fahey, singer with the British pop band Bananarama. Let's see who else. And by the way, she was born in 1957, if I did not mention it. Pat Mastelletto, drummer from Mr. Mister, born in 1955. Joe Perry, guitarist for Aerosmith, born in 1950. Jose Feliciano, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Jose Feliciano was born on this date in 1945. Let's see. Anybody else? And that's about it. That is musicians born on this date. Let's go with birthdays for other famous type folk born on this date. Jack Grealish, soccer player, is 29. Colin Firth, movie actor, is 64. Camille McFadden, TV actor, is 28. Karl Lagerfeld. I used to have that cologne back in the 80s, Lagerfeld. Born in 1933 on this date. We lost him in 2019. Ryan Philippe, movie actor. Man, he's already 50. Damn, dude. Big Daddy Kane, rapper. Wow, that wasn't on the list in the other one. 56. That's a blast from the past, dude. Very cool. Arnold Palmer, born in this date in 1929. We lost him in 2016. And Joey Votto, baseball player, is 41 years old. Those are the famous people born on this date. Sean, do we have wrestlers?
Yes, we do. Don the Rock Morocco turned 75 today. Matt Morgan, he's 48. And Trevor Murdoch turns 44. Those are your birthdays for September 10th, 2024.
All right. We go with music history on September 10th in 1974. After struggles with drug abuse, interpersonnel conflicts, the New York Dolls broke up. I always think Johansson, he did the Animals, We Got to Get Out of This Place. And I got to tell you, with his band, I thought he did a great rendition of it. Nothing beats the Animals. But for a remake, I thought David Johansen did a nice job with that remake back in the day, back in the early 80s. In 75, Kiss released their first live record, Alive. The double LP also became the first top 10 album. And that was an album that so many of us had to have when we were kids. In 88, Guns N' Roses had the number one song in the country with Sweet Child of Mine. In 98, 10 years later, Green Day won the Moon Man for the best alternative video for the MTV Music Awards for Good Riddance, Time of Your Life. In 91, Nirvana released their hit song Smells Like Teen Spirit on this date. In 2005 on this date, Motley Crue, U2, Nine Inch Nails, Green Day, Good Charlotte, and others performed at MTV's React Now Music and Relief Special to benefit the victims of Hurricane Katrina. And that's what happened today in Musica history. All right. Big O, a little music trivia. John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote what song for the Rolling Stones? Oh, man. I've heard this before. Brown Sugar? Not sure. Shoot. Tell me what it is. I want to be what? I want to be a man? Oh, I want to be your man. Oh, okay. 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 I want to be your man. There you go. Sean Stanley found he goggled it. Let's see what else. Motley Crue basically copied the New York Dolls format. Not really, because it's different music. Because that was more of a punk glam rock like. This is more metal, glam metal. But I get what you're saying. The makeup, like, it was also different too. The way they wore the makeup, and obviously the clothes were a little different too. But yeah, it was influenced. I would go with that. That's fair. Definitely influenced. Not copied, but influenced. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, not the New York Dolls, Alice Cooper, those kind of acts, I'm sure influenced a lot of the shit that went on in the 80s with the hair metal. So yeah, I'm sure that's fair. That's fair. Wolfgang should release all of his father's unreleased recordings. Yeah, I read about that, but the problem with unreleased recordings, you've got to be careful with that because a lot of that stuff should stay unreleased because it wasn't good enough. Like that album that they took out last. Really? You know, Carnal Knowledge it was called or something, whatever that those were leftovers from prior albums. And if we put it up against the prior albums, oh my God, it doesn't even it's like Coda from Led Zeppelin. Those were extra songs too. So they put together this album Coda, right? I bought it. I bought the cassette back in the day. I have the CD and everything. And when you play Coda and you compare it to all the other Led Zeppelin albums, there's a reason why that music was left over. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be really careful with that unreleased stuff because there's a reason why it was unreleased. Maybe there might be a gem or two in there. Who knows? You might get lucky, but there's a good chance that if it's unreleased, it's probably not that good. And there's lots of examples of that, and I gave you just two of them right there. Big O, the movie Carnal Knowledge was great. Let's see. Who got Kings of Leon through high school? Pretenders' first two albums. You spent 10 years almost in the studio recording albums. All right. What else do we have? I think I got almost everything covered. Obviously, we talked a little bit about a ton of that Tyreek stuff and my thoughts on all of that stuff. Achane and Mostert are banged up, by the way, so we're expecting that Jalen Wright should get some playing time. Remember, I told you that on Sunday that maybe they held out Jalen Wright because they're going to hold out one of these running backs. You never know. So we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. By the way, Acura of Pembroke Pines will be there next week, right? Not this week, next week. Oh, this week it is? Oh, yes, it is. Yes, this week. And folks, right now we got 3.9% financing for 60 months on the 2025 Integra. You can get it for $339 a month. The 2024 ZDX, we got them right now. Lease Conquest Loyalty $339. All other approved leases $479. And you can get 0.9% financing for 72 months. That is crazy. The 2024 RDX, we still have a few. And the RDX is a great car. My wife still has her RDX. And it's a 2010. Okay? I'm going to get her a new car next year in 25. I'm waiting. But and she's like, she keeps putting it off. She has beaten that car up. My daughter was raised in that car because she's had it for 15 years practically. And my daughter is 24. So my daughter was a child. And so, children on top of all of that. So that car has been through hell and back. And man, she told me the other day, she goes, I love my car. It's all beat up already because it's 14 years old, but it runs like a champ and she loves it. She goes, if it's up to me, I'd keep it. But it needs it's scratched up and all that stuff. She just, my wife won't spend money. She it's like one of those things. I gotta really I'm forcing her next year into getting a new car. I'm forcing her into getting a new car. That's how she is. She just, she's a gem, dude. I mean, she's amazing. But I just want to tell you that RDX is my daughter had an RDX. And so it's just, and my TSX is, I can tell you this. I can be honest. The two best cars I've ever had in my life is a Datsun 280ZX with the inline six years ago, 83, and my Acura TSX. If I didn't total it, I would still have it right now. That car was awesome. It was amazing. If it wasn't for my stupidity, I would still have that car. I mean, these cars are tanks. This RDX is a tank. So I'm just telling you, you can put these things through hell and back, and it's a beautiful thing. So go to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you, and I trust me. They will take care of you there at Craig's Inns. Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Hey, do we have any breaking news at all there, Sean? I don't see anything, just in case. I want to make sure. I haven't seen anything earth-shattering or anything like that out there. Hill's agent calls for police officers to be fired. I don't think officers. I just think the one idiot, right? Yeah, I think I would fight. I would fire the one. I mean, nobody's getting fired. They just don't do that, bro. They just don't do that. It just, I don't know why. Maybe because it set some precedent, and then they, I don't know what it is. I mean, people have gotten fired, but not for this. No dice. Slap on the hand, PR crap, and then they'll keep going. What do you got?
Andy Slater. Well, it says just in was an hour ago. The Miami-Dade police officer who was placed on administrative duty after the Tyreek Hill incident is Danny Torres. Torres is also the board of directors for the South Florida Police Benevolent Association. I've learned he's been with the MDPD for 27 years.
He's with the Benevolent Association, eh? Yeah. They're not going to do anything, Roy. They're not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. Just like Republicans and Democrats aren't going to do anything to give you a good candidate. You can hold your breath if you want and hope for better cops and understanding ones and all that kind of stuff. You go ahead. You go ahead and hold your breath on that one. And by the way, while you're at it, hold your breath even more that Republicans and Democrats can come up with like a decent candidate. You might die before it all happens, holding your breath, but hey, good luck to you. So there you go. Nope, that's it. Doesn't look like Lakers to have number 44 in uniform in West honor. That's cool for Jerry West. The logo. I like it. Will it be like a logo? They have the logo. They should just put the 44 across right under the logo or across the logo. Well, no, because then you'll cover the logo. So put it under the logo. So you have the logo and then put 44 right under. If I'm them, I would permanently keep it there. Dude, you own the logo. You're the Lakers. It's your guy that has the logo. Why wouldn't you just keep the logo and then keep the 44 there permanently? Not just 1 year. That's prideful that's your guy that has the logo. And now that he's passed away, honor it permanently right there. That's what I would do. That's just me. What the hell do I know? Those RDX and MDX are durable. You see the old ones on still. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. My wife's is old and beat up. Roll your window down like the rest of us. Exactly. Bring back the Toyota Hilux with a manual transmission and diesel engine. Holy shit, Kosa. You went like deep on me there, bro. That must have been a really good truck that you liked there. My best car I ever had was a 2007 Toyota Yaris. It had 375,000 miles and was running brand new. I would still have it if I didn't total it. Oh, just like me, huh? And doesn't it piss you off? You know what, Tony? You and I are brothers from another mother. Because a dude like that is just like, I still regret that I don't have my TSX. And it was also 2010. I don't care. I would still have it right now. Wow, that car was great. Oh my God, that car was phenomenal, dude. I loved that car. I really did not I wasn't interested in buying any car 4.5 years ago when I got my Camry. Had no business. I did not want my Camry. Not that I don't love my Camry, but I did not want to get rid of my TSX. And just like you, my brother, I effing totaled it. I screwed up the frame, and because I really wanted to fix it. And when they told me, no, you messed up the frame, there's no saving it, I was like, shit. You're going to be crabbing and shit, driving sideways and stuff. No, I had to let it go, unfortunately. And then I got my Camry, which is awesome. My Camry's fantastic. This is my third Camry, so it's not like my second Camry. But, Camrys are fantastic. But, man, I miss my TSX. God, it was so good. So good. What you got?
Did you hear Drew Rosenhaus on Levitard?
What'd he say?
I was amazed after everything that the officers did to Tyreek. He went out of his way to shake their hand before he left. He literally said to them, I want to be a police officer one day. I respect law enforcement. This isn't how it should be done. Let's be better. I was with him when he said it. That's from Drew Rosenhaus.
Good.
On Levitard this morning.
Good. Now. Well, if you want to be an officer, follow the law, dude. Don't drive 60. You want to be an officer, but you want to break the law. By the way, he was named official father in another case yesterday for a child. So, by the way, you might need that cop job. They have good health insurance. With all those kids, you're going to need it. The guy wants to be a cop, and all he does is break laws. That's fantastic. And breaks legs. Legs and laws. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be a cop. Yep. Casey Anthony wants to run a daycare center. I want to be a cop. Would you ticket yourself for going 60 in a school zone? So it's like, hey, man, come on, I can't sit down, my knee. And he goes out to run for 80 yards and a touchdown. Can you be any more full of shit? Let's see. Big O, you still listening to the mighty Sham? Yes, I am. Of course I am. Yes, I might listen to some of it on the way home, actually, now you mentioned it. Yeah, I always put my you guys taught me this. Maybe it was you, Brett, that taught me this shit. Remember that I couldn't listen to the Sham, and then you guys told me turn your VPN to Canada, and then you can listen to the Sham, because I was having trouble listening to the Sham when I was here, when I got back right away from Canada. And you guys, I don't know if it was you, Brett, or somebody else enlightened me on that. And then I figured, I'm not the smartest, I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier. I mean, I was making myself look orange the other day, and I had no idea that I could change the colors of my own light. Yeah, what can I tell you? So, you're weaseling out. I see why you're no longer at QAM. Disappointed. I'm not at QAM because I don't want to be at QAM, you idiot. Who wants to be at QAM? I think I'm doing a lot better than at QAM. A hell of a lot better. But that's all right. Wait, I thought Tyreek wanted to be a porn star, so now he wants to be a cop when he grows up. That's the other point. When is he going to grow up? Yeah, right? Yeah, when is he going to grow up? When is Tyreek going to grow up? We'll wait for that. Don't hold your breath also. Tyreek better drive carefully from now on. Better yet, get Uber. Cops like refs have a long memory. Yeah. They break the law, so he'll fit right in. Sam, that was good. That was fantastic. That was good, Sam. Love it. Love it. KC was building dynasty that would have been a devastating for KC dynasty. Oh, yeah, well, they moved on and were fine. In Miami wins Super Bowls, I get over $3K on all free bets. I don't know what that means. Mattel Delulio should have signed Van Ginkel, not Ramsey extension. Well, you gotta keep Ramsey, bro. Did you see the play he made on the other side for that run? He was just out of sync. Like I told you guys in the post game show, relax, man. They don't hit a lot. They don't get in a groove. I think within a couple more games, you'll see a much sharper team. It's just kind of they got better in the second half, and I think they'll get better as the next couple weeks. I think Ramsey just didn't practice much, so his timing was off and he looked bad. But I wouldn't blame it on him. I would think it's just a lack of practice. Folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, please. Smash it. Let's go. Tyreek Hill being a cop, haha, and now Tiger Woods wants to be a driver's ed instructor. Exactly. Oh, will the Bills game be a shootout or a tough, low-scoring game? I don't know. What do you call a game within the 20s? That's what I think. Is that a high-scoring game? I think each team will have some like 20 points. 27 to 23, 25 to 21, 29 to 26. I think it's going to be something like that, I'm going to say. Close, but Dolphins win a close game. Something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Tyreek's favorite band must be Offspring. Brett, that is good. That is good. Predicts Tyreek's future, Big O. No more problems, no more law, and a championship in the next 2 years. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that he's not an idiot anymore, which I know it's going to be impossible, but what can I tell you? That's what I'm really hoping for. I told you guys that video, you needed for it to really show you that it was all the cop and not him. And unfortunately, it showed you that he took part in this. 70% cop, 30% him. So, unfortunately. Navarro is not coming on today. Navarro will be on tomorrow, we said? Tomorrow. Tomorrow, Navarro is going to come on. Okay? Yes. So, he had, there was like a little bit of a conflict. So, and today's conversation, so I figured we push it to tomorrow. And that buys us another day. And hopefully we can stop with this Tyreek nonsense tomorrow. And we don't have to start talking about the cops and Tyreek anymore and all that crap. Okay, now that we got the Tyreek press conference and video from the cops, both videos and all that kind of stuff, now we've got all our whole thing. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Hopefully we can move on and talk about football, and hopefully nobody gets in any more trouble. That's what would be nice. That's what I would like. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I would like. All right, we are out of here. We appreciate all of you out there, as always. We thank the great Steve Calabro, the Brunetti family, as always, making it nice and easy for us, and everybody out here in the second floor poker room. We'll be back here on Wednesday next week because we're traveling to Seattle on Thursday next week. So these 2 weeks we've had to adjust because of Thursday's game. We're doing it today. Next week, I'm flying out to Seattle on Thursday. So we're going to be here Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're at Toyota of Hollywood. Okay? So come on out and join us. 1841 North State Road 7, right there on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Come on out and join us. Sean will be out there with me. And we will go live at noon, because we go live at noon on Wednesdays at Toyota of Hollywood. So if you happen to be in the area, come on by and say hi. Please don't speed while you're headed over there. Okay? Drive the speed limit. Okay? Follow authority. Respect authority. Authority. Respect my authority. Anyway, on behalf of Sean and everybody else, we thank you all out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.